continuing with our little spooky season here. We're talking about another dark, kind of horror movie. So we did two classics in the past two episodes. We did Nightmare on Elm Street and Texas Chainsaw Massacre, two stone cold classics, game changers. This week we're covering a new movie out of Australia, and this one's called Talk to Me. It's a new horror movie. We checked it out at the Landmark Theater, great little chain here in Canada. And yeah, we just went on a late afternoon showing. So Ben, first thoughts on this movie?
Talk to Me. It was pretty great. I'm usually pleasantly surprised with A24 films. They just offer something different, usually something pretty raw. And they usually have some pretty original ideas and takes. It's usually a good change from the typical slasher horror film. And I really liked it. It kept me thoroughly entertained. And there was some fantastic acting in this film, don't you think?
Yeah, I thought so. I mean, there was a lot of stuff that stuck in my brain. I wouldn't say it's like my favorite A24 film or like I
No.
freaked out, but I enjoyed it, in its time where people take such stringent polarized opinions and are like, I hate it or I love it. I was just like, I like this, It was
Yeah.
still some. I don't know if I'm ever gonna think to put it on again, but if it's around Halloween and thinking of something to watch, it may come up, or somebody says, hey, let's watch Talk to Me, I'll be like, yeah, let's go.
It has a lot. So basically the plot loosely, like we're not going to spoil it or anything, but a bunch of teenagers get a hold of this sculpture of a hand. And whenever you touch this hand and say certain things, you experience like demons and spirits and some supernatural stuff goes down whenever you're touching this hand. So people end up getting possessed and whatnot. And you have people playing certain characters, but then you also have people playing possessed versions of those characters. Basically, when they're possessed, they're playing an entirely different character in the same body. And that's where I got really impressed with this, to be honest. And that's where a lot of the scare value and the scariness comes from, right?
Well, seeing the faces contort. I mean, there's a lot of uncanny valley stuff. I mean, when
Yeah.
these people are possessed, their eyes get a certain way, neck movements, all those kinds of things. But it's interesting to see what kind of personality they're gonna be when they
Yeah.
get possessed. Um and I gotta say the way they fight or like, go against these souls, these demons, we try not to go into it too much, is very cool and brings a new element to it. And you kind of forget the rules of engagement of how they work, and kind of as you're watching the movie, and then when it kind of clicks into for you, it's a great shocking moment. I'm trying to be as vague as possible, but this movie does some
Yeah.
very
And
creative techniques.
it really like it kept me entertained, and it kept my mind thinking and wondering what's coming next, or how are they going to get over this next hurdle. So I had a great time watching it. It was definitely worth the price of admission. A lot of times now you'll see a movie and you're like, damn, I wish I could get my money back. But no, I if I could go back and see it again for the first time, I'd do that. It was a great experience seeing it with you guys. And we've always wanted to do an episode on A24 films, because I always just feel like they do always offer something new. And we definitely got that here. And the movie's been out for a while, but now having seen it like right before Halloween, like I get it. It was really cool. Um, I'm into this type of stuff. Are you? I know you enjoyed the movie, but like, is this a genre that you enjoy, or you just like to catch every once in a while?
I like the genre. I mean, but it's certainly not my like favorite type of movie, but it's kind of I just look at it as like a teen horror movie.
Yeah, it
Um,
was.
And I like that kind of the trope of the young sibling along for the ride kind of has a bit more to do with the
Yeah.
plot. In this case, played by Joe Bird, I believe. And just he does a great performance in particular.
I thought
Uh,
all of the performances were
Very young
really
actor.
great. Like thinking now, like everyone who was on screen like played really convincing roles. I was pretty impressed, to be honest.
But like Joe Bird, he looks like I think he's a pretty young guy. He looked like
Oh,
really
for
young, like
sure. The
kid.
younger you are, the more impressive, you know.
And his role was impressive. And like I said, it's the kind of younger sibling in the movie kind of taking more of a role. That's a little bit different, I guess. I'm sure that's been done before, but
I'm looking
that's
at
one of the first samples I can think.
I'm looking at the numbers here, and this movie had a budget of 4.5 million, and it pulled in 90 million. So it definitely was a huge success. It made a lot of profit. Um, it was great, man. I really can't praise these A24 films enough. You know, I always end up leaving happy. Like they give me that like classic cinema feel. You know, I just feel like these films give me an experience, and I feel like I'm always seeing something new. They always have some kind of new twist to put on it, and I like seeing these films while knowing as little about them as possible. That always,
Yeah.
always, always ends up in you having a better experience, in my opinion.
Thought there were some really cool practical effects
I was
too.
gonna say that subtle but really great practical effects.
Yeah, that looked really cool. And there was stuff that stuck in my head that I was thinking about later on, that just not
Yeah.
anything particular with the plot, but just like certain parts of dialogue and like certain frames and just people's faces.
Yeah.
But the whole thing's very like mysterious. Even once you get to the end of the movie, there's still a bit of unanswered questions.
It's definitely not show not tell. Like they definitely don't show as much as typical movies do. They do leave more in the unknown, and
Mhm.
that adds to the scare value too. There's a really cool dream sequence or whatnot in this film, and it was scary. There was a couple shots that just induce the feeling of fear or like claustrophobia or drowning, you know, just pure fear. Like the movie does pull on that a bit, and I really enjoyed that aspect a lot. I enjoyed a lot of aspects of this movie.
Yeah, I mean, again, I just thought enough of it stuck in my head, and I particularly thought that while there were certain parts of it that seemed a bit a cliche, I thought for the most part it was pretty new, and it seemed a bit self-aware, just kind of like a fun teen movie. And they really went heavy on the sound, really trying to scare you.
Oh, they did. That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. I feel like they covered a lot of bases with this film.
Mhm.
You know, I don't feel like you were shortchanged in any sort of aspect of this film.
Yeah, I feel like you got a good mix of like creepiness and then just like the full on jump scare, like just with the loud
Yeah,
sting of noise.
we don't want to give too much away, but we enjoyed our time with this film and we definitely recommend it. I think I'm going to give it a 7.2 out of 10, I think.
That's a totally fair score.
I think,
That's all I
yeah,
would give it.
I was not blown out of the water. You know, I didn't necessarily see anything that I haven't seen before. Um, but it was really great. It was thorough. It was great. It was scary. Great acting. Great visual effects. Great sound design. It was pretty great through and through. So I'm gonna give it a 7.2. Um, would you agree with that score? Or would you
Yeah,
score
I
it?
would 7.2 is fine.
Yeah,
7.2 is the perfect way to describe it. And sorry, I mean, I hope this isn't a boring review, but I think you can kind of tell we're just kind of very
it's
relaxed,
it's more
not
so of a
too strong on
suggestion,
anything.
you know,
Yeah.
like, hey, you guys should definitely check this movie out. You know, that's really what we're doing here. Um, but you know what, I kind of wanted to just mention A24. They're apparently gonna do a Nosferatu movie.
Oh, that could be cool. I mean, that is one of the
That's
best.
like more of a specific corner of like vampire horror that like hasn't really been done that much. There's only really two visual representations of Nosferatu, and it's being done by Robert Eggers, this new movie. There's really not a lot of information about this movie coming up, but I thought, hey, we're talking horror in A24, so I kind of just wanted to drop it here so we could discuss it a little bit. But It's really intriguing. It's a little weird to hear that in 2023 we're getting a Nosferatu movie, because he has been
I feel
kind of.
like this is a good thing to remake, or
That's
not
true.
remake,
Yeah.
or not just to try your hand at, because it's
Yeah,
so old. Like the original
for sure.
Nosferatu is 1922.
Yep. Yeah,
When
yeah,
that
yeah.
came out, it's German silent film, and and uh, and it's still very effective. It's very good, and everybody basically knows one frame, which is the
Yeah.
title character, and that's still very effective. That still looks very creepy to me, and disturbing. But it's something that's we're coming up on what 100, over 100 years old, so
Yeah, man,
the
that's
awareness of
insane.
it quite isn't there. So you can really kind of do something different with it and really update it. So I feel like it's a good thing to remake. It doesn't necessarily have all the baggage that
Yeah,
they're
there's
trying
a
to
lot
do.
of freedom he could go with it. Being with Robert Eggers doing it, he's known for The Witch and The Lighthouse and The Northman. So it's definitely something that's, I feel like he could do American Gothic horror pretty well. You just have to be a fan of the genre to do the genre justice, and I really, really do enjoy The Witch. It's one of my favorite kind of alternative horror films. So, and
Yeah,
if it's anything like that in terms of tone and grittiness, I think he'll nail it. But when it comes to Nosferatu, one of the most important things is the visual appearance. I'm just really excited to see
that's
how
the
the
only thing.
character looks. Yeah,
That's the only
exactly.
thing he's realistically got to imitate is the
Yeah.
visuals and kind of the music. I mean, that's such a primitive
The music
movie.
is a huge thing too, over the top
Yeah,
dramatic
yeah.
music.
But everything else is up to him because it's a primitive movie. Nothing. It's a silent movie, so
Yeah.
it's just the visuals are figured out and the music is figured out, but everything else is kind of left open to whatever. There has been one Nosferatu movie since, which is just Nosferatu the Vampire, which that came out in
Yeah.
like 1979.
Yeah.
Um,
So it's a very uncrowded space. So a lot of movies now they're getting remade over and over and over, and there's 5, 6, 7 different iterations of
mm,
characters in film. But this is a corner that was just waiting to be pinned, and I'm glad that this specific writer and director got a hold of it.
yeah, I think it'll be the first English one because I know the
Yeah, that's
1979 one is in like German, Romanian, and oh no, it's because it's English. Never mind. I
and
just
Bill
looked now.
Skarsgård
Is in
is
English.
playing Nosferatu.
Oh, okay, that'll be
Um,
interesting.
he's definitely one of those visual actors. I'm pretty sure he played Pennywise
Mm.
in It. He's been in many, many things. He's in The Crow. Oh, there's a new Crow coming out that he's actually going to be in as well.
No, there we go.
A new Crow. Have you seen the original Crow?
Yeah, that's a great one too. That's oh, by the way, I just wanted to say
Yeah.
this Nosferatu the Vampire movie is actually well received. I have not seen it, but
Is it
it
just
got
well
good
received
reviews.
because it's like untouchable as like a cinema classic?
No, not even. I'm talking from the second one.
Oh, the
Uh,
79 one?
yeah, it's got
I can't
95%
get
on
behind the
Rotten
character
Tomatoes,
design of him.
8.2 out of 10 on IMDb, I believe.
Look at images of the Nosferatu from that movie.
And what else? Oh, and even contemporary reviews.
I haven't seen this
Where
one though.
it's
So maybe it's
hold on.
something I should check out this season because I'm a huge Nosferatu fan, but I just haven't really been interested in this version of the character. It's
Yeah,
always
it's I mean
the
it's
original
a bit
character.
off-putting, but I don't really
Yeah.
mind it. It's a bit uglier.
Who knows? Maybe the performance is what makes it so great. Probably.
Mhm. I mean, it's not very well known, but as far as I know, like the critical response looks pretty good from, and
All right.
apparently it looks really good too.
I got it on Prime Video and I was gonna watch it the other night, but I didn't pull the trigger. But I guess I will. I guess I'll check it out for sure.
Maybe that's the next episode.
Yeah, we could talk about that for sure. We're absolutely going to talk about the new one when it comes out. But
And the new one, shadows, lots and lots of shadows.
yeah, yeah,
That's what it needs.
it needs to like do that play on darkness.
Shadows, man, just scary. That's what we were talking about yesterday too in dreams, man. Dreams. There's always when you're in creepy ass dreams.
Yeah, it's just the
Not even
unknown,
necessarily nightmares. It's just random darkness. There's always like
Yeah.
weird darkness in dreams.
Yeah.
dark
That's
corner.
exciting. That's probably one of my most anticipated upcoming films. There hasn't been a lot of movies that I'm excited to come out, but I mean, this Nosferatu movie doesn't even have a release date, I don't think. So it'll be a while until we get to see it.
Yeah, we kind of picked the worst time to start podcast because it's gonna be slow for a bit because we're just coming out of the strike. So
yeah, that's for sure. Everything's been delayed. I just saw a post saying the new Deadpool 3 it was supposed to come out in 2024, and I don't even think it's gonna make that release now.
Yeah.
So everything's being pushed back.
I don't know. Movie industry still seems to have been in trouble, but we shall see.
We'll see where it goes, but
there's Barbenheimer though. So
yeah, I mean that was crazy. That was a crazy week at the box office, that's for sure.
That's awesome. I wish it was like that more often. Point is, yeah, but we're gonna check out this Nosferatu then, and we're excited for this new one.
And our
go see Talk to Me.
Talk to Me for this week for sure. That was the point we wanted to make.
If you want a solid Halloween movie, I'm not going to oversell it. If you want like a solid Halloween movie, go.
Yeah.
And I mean, compared to anything else that's out of the theater right now that I can think of, at least that we had the option to see, it was better then. So,
yeah. Honestly, like if someone tells me to watch something and they can confidently tell me it's not bad, I'll be like, okay, I'll watch it. Like as long as something isn't bad, I'm down to watch it and be open, right? But
yeah, exactly. So
it's definitely not bad. It's a good film to check out. So
nice and short, hour and 35 too. So
yeah,
get in now.
Because damn, we were gonna see that new Scorsese movie, and we would have been in that theater for probably almost 4 hours by the end of it.
Yeah, Killers of Flower Moon. Oh, forget what I said, because Killers of Flower Moon is probably a better movie.
Probably,
but it's like 4 hours long. So
yeah, I mean, nobody got time to sit in the theater for 4 hours, man.
He made a point though. He's like, you'll watch TV for 5 hours.
Fair. That's fair. He knows his stuff though. He knows what he's doing. So at the end of the day, he makes.
But he's like, have some appreciation for cinema.
Sure.
I like watching longer movies at my home, like really long stuff.
Yeah.
I like watching that.
I will say, better experience. I like watching these shorter movies, like these shorter horror films, in the theater. But for something that long, definitely want to watch that at home.
I can do about 3 hours in the theater tops. Once you're going above the 3 hour mark, I'm like, all right.
Yeah, because I definitely wanted to see Avatar in the theater when it came out, and that was a 3 hour film, and I was fine with that if I can prepare, So, but yeah, that's our little check-in episode for this week, our little movie suggestion. And if you've seen Talk to Me, let us know down in the comments, and let us know if you're interested in the new A24 Nosferatu film, because I am, that's for sure. And we'll catch you next week on the slime.
And let us in to your ears and listen to the slime.
That's a little play on Talk to Me. Nice.
All right. See you guys.
Bye.